Okay, there is some recovery which is underway. The market is down about 6 points or so. So once again, pullback, which may materialize. We saw an attempt yesterday which got faded very, very quickly. And right now we're seeing some activity as well. But broadly since the morning, it hasn't really given us a sense that, the market wants to go anywhere in one direction. It wants to sustain the bounce, etc. So that's where we are at. You heard that conversation, interesting conversation from the management of Parle, one of the largest biscuit makers in the country. And that kind of sort of also speaks to the slowdown, which I think is a broad overlay, which I think is keeping prices low, sentiment low. And I think as the Parle management said, that they're expecting something from the government in terms of help. So is the market. That's been the story now for the last so many trading sessions, and we're still waiting. 11,010 is where the Nifty is at. Lots of stocks are moving about, even though the Nifty is not, and we'll get to those in just a bit. With me, my colleague Surbhi. Hi, Surbhi.
Hi, good morning, Prashant. I guess not much is moving on the index, so to speak. It's still the same story, trapped in that range. 11,150 is the upside. Let's see if there'll be some attempt. Till now, we haven't even made a decisive attempt to move towards the high of that range. I guess the clinching factor will be a couple of key banking stocks. They really hold the key. For instance, look at ICICI Bank. It's absolutely in indecision zone right now along the flat line. If Axis and SBI, if some of these corporate banks start recovering, then we know which way the picture is going to be because, that's ICICI for you. So just about trying to inch higher. Now, let's see if this turns into something more meaningful. As of now, it's really the HDFC twins that are doing the heavy lifting. On the upside, those are the two stocks, including actually even Bajaj Finance. So some of these financial names are doing all right. We really have to wait for the second half to see if there's a more decisive directional move that we get on the market. As we await that, let's get the conversation going. We have Kiran Jadhav joining in on the technicals with a couple of trading ideas as well. Kiran, good morning. So I guess the index is perhaps not providing much juice to traders out there last couple of days. What are your thoughts on the day so far, and what are the trades you're working with today?
Prashant and Surbhi, very good morning. Today is the 11th or 12th day that we are moving in an uptrend after a big slide. The trend line value for now is around 10,980. That's the low that we had made today, and we are just moving in the sideways zone in a tight range. So there are no really great trading ideas till the time we get a decisive breakout. The breakouts will be below 10,980. That would be a breakdown. And if there is a breakout, we should wait for a level of 11,050 to be crossed. Only then we'll see a decisive move and a one-way move. The consolidation is happening from yesterday, which is good. I believe that it should continue for another couple of hours from now, and then we should get a decisive breakout. So investors and traders are suggested that they should wait for this breakout for a big move up or down. However, there are two counters that still look good to me on the charts. One is Hindustan Unilever. Hindustan Unilever is one counter where this counter has given a breakout of a long range, very long range. On the day-end charts, this counter has moved above its all-time highs on the trend line value, and the kind of move that we are going to see from here on would be a big one. So I suggested a very strict stop loss of 1846 on the August futures. Right now we are trading at 1850. So it's a 4 rupee stop loss on a 1800 counter, which is very small in percentage terms. And if that stop loss does not trigger, I believe 1870, 1880 would be tested by the end of the day. The second is a PVR. PVR again from its lows has bounced back. Good open interest additions for now around 10%. Undercurrent is pretty strong, so I believe we should take a long trade over here as well. 1453 would be my stop loss, 10 rupees below the current market price, and 1495 is a target that I am looking forward to.
Okay, thanks very much. Appreciate you joining in, Kiran, with those trading ideas. And we'll have you back soon for more. Let's just talk about a couple of stocks which are moving around at this point in time. And let's start with Dr. Reddy's. It's a week after the US drug regulators, the FDA, issued a Form 483 for its Duvada formulations manufacturing plant with 8 observations. Let's get more details on this. So what would it mean? Ekta is here with the details. Ekta.
Hi, thanks, Prashant, for that. So, like you mentioned, Dr. Reddy's is in focus because their Duvara facility has received 8 observations from the US FDA. Now, remember that this particular facility had already been under the US FDA scanner. It had a warning letter which was issued in 2015, and it was only lifted in Feb 2019. So there was some amount of relief on that particular facility. But with these 8 observations, there's a little bit of uncertainty in terms of what these observations could contain. We don't know the nature of the observations, but the quantum of the observations are large, plus on a facility which has had issues earlier. Just want to point out that there has been an inspection which has taken place on this particular plant after Feb 2019, which went off successfully. So that is actually a positive bearing for the company. But till we know the nature of the observations, it would be difficult to assess how, what the future of the plant would be. It contributes around $50 to $100 million and manufactures onco-injectables for Dr. Reddy's.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Ekta, for getting us the details on this one. So Dr. Reddy's is in focus on account of that regulatory action. Let's move to the next stock on our radar. CG Power, what a fall from grace for this one. Second day running, we've got a 20% lockdown circuit on this. And the news is that, of course, there's a lot of regulatory action. There's also an ongoing MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs probe around this company. Let's get in Anisha to understand all the details here. Anisha, 11, 12 rupees stock now. What's the latest here?
Well, yes, you talked about the 2 days of consecutive lower circuit for the stock, and if you look at the pending sell figure, there are almost 1.5 crore shares that are there for pending of sale of this particular company, and then there are no buyers. So perhaps in the coming next 1 to 2 days as well, the situation is going to be same, that the stock would be locked in lower circuit. Now there are a lot of issues that have happened for the company right from the start of the year, and that is why this stock is down about 75% from the start of the year. Of course, there have been corporate governance issues with respect to directors as well as auditors. There have been issues regarding to the sale of the international business, as well as the other issues regarding high debt as well as high pledge. The recent was the audit committee report that came out yesterday, wherein they talked about several unauthorized transactions that were fraudulent in nature and were taken in by the employees who were not authorized to make such transactions. They talk about how the liabilities of the company is undervalued to the tune of around 1,000 to 2,000 crore rupees, how the advances to related parties undervalued to the tune of around 2 to 3,000 crore rupees, and this compares to the market cap of the company of around just 8 to 900 crore rupees. That is how significant the misstatement has been. In fact, even the entire net worth of the company has been understated because there were some write-offs that were taken in by the company which are probably not needed. So all of this is a worrying factor. The company is saying they will take in a forensic audit, but as of now the stock is under pressure, and Yes Bank, which holds around 13% stake in the company due to invocation of pledge share, is also facing a bit of sentiment downtick. That one also continues to trend lower today.
Okay, thanks very much, Anisha, for that. A host of other stocks are also in news. Sonal is here with that list. Sonal.
Thanks a lot for that, and let me start with Biocon. Well, there are reports which are suggesting that PE players like Temasek, True North and Canadian Pension Fund are looking to invest in the biologics business of Biocon, and they're looking at investing $3 million for a minority stake. Now remember, reports also suggest that the valuation of this particular business could be around $4 billion, which implies a valuation of 28,000 crores, which is more than Biocon's current market cap. So this could be a positive news if it actually comes about. So that stock is buzzing in trade today. Moving on, Deepak Nitrite, that stock is also buzzing on the upside because ICRA has upgraded company's long-term rating, and that is positive for the company. USL also is buzzing on the upside because the parent, Diageo, they have acquired additional stake of around 0.46% via a large trade, and now their holding stands at 55.24%. HDIL, the stock is locked in lower circuit. That is because the company has been admitted to insolvency and bankruptcy court, that is for liquidation. Apart from that, Spark, some negative news coming in there because one of the companies in the US, they filed a lawsuit against the company. Spark says that this lawsuit is without merit and they will file a case against that. And lastly, Alembic, they have been issued a Form 483 without any observations, and that's why the stock is in the green today.
Okay, all right, Sonal, thanks for that. Those are some of the stocks in news today. Let's now move to news coming in from the courts. There has been no immediate relief for former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram in the INX media case. In fact, we have our colleague Ashmit Kumar joining in with the details. High-profile case, this one. Ashmit, what is the latest?
Indeed, Surbi, this is part political case that we are currently seeing. Yesterday, of course, as we're all aware, Delhi High Court refused to grant any anticipatory bail, and with that began, the wheels were set in motion. The CBI, the ED landed at his residence, raised the question of possible arrest, raised the question of why is he incommunicado, why is he not being able to reach out. They also issued a midnight, notice to him seeking his presence within 2 hours. That obviously has been replied to by Chidambaram's counsel. The question, of course, today was that in light of all the wheels that have been set in motion last evening, the question that essentially was seeking anticipatory bail. And with that, the whole battery of Congress counsels moved the apex court. We had the likes of Salman Khurshid, Vivek Kanka, Kapil Dev, Ashwini Kumar. They were all present in court, and they all made that prayer for seeking anticipatory bail, for seeking some interim relief. However, this appeal was mentioned before the third senior-most judge, who is Justice N.V. Ramanna. And at this stage, Justice N.V. Ramanna has refused to grant any interim relief. What he has said, however, is that this file has now been moved or will be moved to the CJI's office, and the CJI will now take a call on whether or not to grant any interim relief, on whether or not to list the matter in the first place. So all eyes now on CJI Justice Gogoi. Let's keep in mind that he's currently busy as a part of a 5-judge bench deciding on the Ayodhya matter. That constitutional bench currently is sitting. So the next opportunity that perhaps can be made available to the Congress counsels is to perhaps move during lunchtime and mention this matter before the CJI. So clearly the clock has not stopped ticking yet on P. Chidambaram. His counsels will continue to seek relief, and we'll have to wait and watch on whether or not they move to CJI's court seeking that interim relief.
Ashmit, thank you very much for joining us and taking us through the details on that important case which is underway. And we'll get you more. That is Mr. P. Chidambaram, in the main person in the center of that case, the hearing. We will slip into a quick break here. Up next, we discuss what's buzzing in the commodities space. As always, Manisha Gupta will be here, and she'll have PR Somasundaram, Managing Director at World Gold Council, join her for a quick chat.